Hey Brian, checking out your suppressors?
I am.
Those are nice. You know, I've been thinking about getting me one, but such a hassle, I don't even know where to start.
Let me explain it to you.
Oh, hey there. Didn't see you there.
Didn't I see you?
Didn't I?
So as cheesy as that intro was, Brett legitimately came to me this morning and texted me, I think I'm ready to take the plunge and buy a suppressor, but I don't know where to begin. And that seems to be a common theme I get on a lot of suppressor videos. Where to start? So this is a guide to buying or acquiring your first suppressor. We're going to talk about basic suppressor features, what you may want, what you may not want, the process of getting one, and really talk about where the suppressor stands in 2025. Now, right now, there still is a $200 tax stamp that Brett would have to pay after he fills out his paperwork, get his passport photos and fingerprints, and be logged onto the NFA registry. But that could all change because actually recently, the Short Act as well as the Hearing Protection Act are before Congress, or at least before committees. You guys need to call your representatives and try to get this changed so we can get suppressors off the NFA. These are merely to help your hearing, and this is a good opportunity to do that. Definitely follow places like Mr. Guns and Gear and Guns and Gadgets for more about that, taking those off the NFA registry. But let's get back into the video and talk about suppressors.
So what is the process now?
Well, the process, despite being complicated, is actually the easiest and quickest it's ever been in 2025. You still have to get your passport photos and your fingerprints, but you can actually do that at most shops that sell suppressors. You simply walk in and let them know. The first step is you'll go on to the ATF's eForms account and create an eForms login page. Now, once you've done that, you'll actually get your eForms PIN number, and you can bring that PIN number and login information to the shop that you want to buy your suppressor from. Now, at this point, if they can't handle the eForms process, find another shop. But once you do that, you can actually purchase the suppressor in store for whatever fits your needs. And we were talking about you buying, I think, a rifle can.
Yeah.
And then once he picks out his rifle can, he'll purchase it. Most shops now will take your fingerprints in store and take your passport photos, so no need to go to the sheriff's department or get a photo taken anywhere. At that point, you'll actually pay your $200 tax stamp to the shop, so you have to pay for the suppressor up front as well as the tax stamp up front, so be prepared to shell out that unconstitutional tax. And then from there, you'll fill out some paperwork at the shop, and then you'll wait. Most of the wait times, though, used to be 10 to 12 months. Now they're actually only 2 days to about a week of waiting. And then from there, you'll actually get an email, and the shop will get an email. You'll come in, you'll fill out a 4473 like you were doing a standard gun purchase. And then from that point, you'll take your suppressor home. Make sure you keep your tax stamp with you, either the eForms version or the printed version, and your ID. And then you have to follow all local and state ordinances, but that's pretty much the process at this point to purchase a suppressor. So Brett, what style can were you looking for?
Looking for something to throw on the 5.56.
All right, so Brett is looking for a rifle can to start his purchasing process, but there are going to be 4 main types of cans that you're going to be looking at. First is a Rimfire can, something for 22, super small, super compact, lightweight, affordable. Then you've got a pistol can, and we'll be demoing all of these in a second, so make sure you're watching the entire video. Now that pistol can is going to be lighter weight than a rifle can, very modular, and able to accept a pistol booster, which allows it to run on a pistol, and fixed barrel spacers to allow it to run on a rifle, but they're not going to be great on centerfire rifles. Brett, it sounds like you're looking for a centerfire rifle?
Yep.
What calibers are you looking to shoot out of it?
5.56, 223.
Okay, so there's a lot of different options for rifle cans, but most of those are going to be stainless steel, Inconel, or even titanium, which are going to be rifle rated. And then the 4-style can is kind of a jack-of-all-trades can. If you're only going to buy one, there are some jack-of-all-trades cans out there, and we'll talk a little bit more about those in a second. But let's get to shooting some, and then we'll talk about that rifle suppressor Brett was looking for. So the first thing a lot of people will go to is a Rimfire suppressor because they are very affordable, lightweight, and they are just fun because a lot of times, especially in a pistol, that 22 is going subsonic, so it's ultra quiet. Let's take some shots with a rather large 22 can on the Taurus TX22. We're going to take some shots into the dirt and the steel so you can hear the sound difference. Now that is 100% hearing safe, and you can get 22 cans the size of chapstick tubes, which are incredibly small, or larger cans like this, and the price range is anywhere from about $2.53 bills up to about $500, depending on the one you want to get. But let's move on to a pistol can, mainly for 9mm and 45. The next thing I want to discuss are actually pistol suppressors, and they come in a wide variety of flavors, but three main mounting options. The first is what you see here, half by 28 threads, or whatever thread pitch you need for your pistol, whether it's 9mm or 45, with a Nielsen device or booster system. And this is a spring system that allows the actual threaded insert to shift while firing, allowing that lock breech of the firearm itself, that barrel to tilt down, lock down, and load the next round. Now, if you want to run this on something like a pistol caliber carbine that doesn't have a tilting barrel, you can run a fixed barrel spacer like this and swap out that spring. A lot of these pistol suppressors are made out of stainless steel, aluminum, and titanium, allowing them to be lightweight, but not rifle rated for the most parts. Now, some will be compatible with different rounds, but you'll want to check your manufacturer's suggested ratings. Now, you can get short cans like this, and this is actually a rugged suppressor with an extension, or you can get them in longer configurations and adaptable configurations like this Dead Air. You can see the seam right here. This is a long and short configuration with swappable end caps. So really convenient in 2025 with all the pistol suppressors. Now let's take some shots with subsonic ammo. And that's the great thing about pistols. A lot of times that ammo is subsonic when you're picking the right kinds, allowing it to be incredibly quiet. Now we're going to be taking some shots out of the Beretta with the Dead Air low back pressure can with Subsonic 147 grain AAC. This is going to be hearing safe. Brett, listen up. This one's for you. The next one we are talking about is rifle cans, and that's what really started this conversation with Brett asking about a rifle can. Now, he was wanting something for a 5.56, and you can buy 5.56 specific cans. You can also buy a 30 cal can like you see here and run 5.56 through this can. Although it won't be quite as quiet as a 5.56 can, it still does the job good. And more importantly, you can run a lot more calibers through the 30 cal. You can run 7.62 by 39 if your can's rated for it. 300 blackout, 308, all the way up to 300 Win Mag in some cases, and you can easily step it down to 5.56. Now, a lot of the rifle cans are going to be steel, Inconel, and potentially titanium, and a lot of them are going to be rated for really quick fire and heavy fire, unlike a lot of pistol cans that could potentially be upgraded or put onto a rifle can. So a dedicated rifle can is key if you're going to be running rifles. Now, a lot of times, proprietary mounts will be welded into the rifle can, or they'll be direct thread like this Dead Air Sandman with a chemo device. Or you can get a hub compatible can like this can right here, and most companies are making these. Some of my favorites are Dead Air, Aero Precision, the R30K like you see here, and the YHM. But what we are talking about when we're saying hub compatibility is the internal threads right here that allows you to put whatever muzzle device adapter or direct thread adapter you want on there. Here are some examples of hub-compatible adapters. This is a 5/8 by 24 direct thread hub-compatible adapter, and it can go thread right into the end of this can and allow it to be run on anything with a 5/8 by 24 thread, something like a 300 blackout, or again, a 308, something like that, or you can do half by 28s for 5.56. You can also get different hub adapters for those for a wide variety of different muzzle devices, so that works out pretty cool. Now, there are so many cans on the market, including low back pressure cans, fully welded cans, and lightweight titanium cans. The best thing to do is subscribe to the channel and watch my videos to figure out what rifle can is good for you, but let's take some shots with them and show you some different options. So Brett's got a Dead Air Sandman in the full-size configuration with the chemo device on here, and he's going to be trying to shoot some 5.56 through the 30 cal to get actually a first shots and kind of experience with some rifle cans on a 5.56, and then we'll kind of update you guys after that on some of these rifle cans. Now, rifle cans generally aren't going to be hearing safe with supersonic ammo. Now, some will be, some won't be. You want to make sure you're still wearing hearing protection, but Brett's going to try it without it just to get a feel and understanding, because he wants one that he can put on like a go-to home defense rifle. Go for it, Brett.
that wasn't bad at all. It's not something I'd want to run a full mag through or do it for extended periods, but a couple of pop shots, nothing.
So that's the other good thing about running a 30 cal can on a 5.56. You don't get a ton of gas back in your face because of the larger opening. And with a 5.56, you get that smaller hole on the end of it, which causes a lot more back pressure, a lot more gas, but also more potential of baffle strikes if the can loosens up. With a 30 cal can on a 5.56, you get a little bit wider end cap, allowing it to be more forgiving for baffle strikes. So if you're going to a battle rifle setup with like a dedicated rifle can, if you're running 5.56 and 30 cal, I'd highly recommend just going straight to the 30 cal. There's little benefits of running a dedicated 5.56 in my humble opinion, but again, I've got videos on that. The other cool thing about rifle cans, especially the 30 cal, is you can throw them on a bolt action rifle like this and run Subsonic 300 blackout, and it is nearly silent. Go ahead and try it, Brett. And the last can that I want to discuss is kind of like a jack of all trades can. Now, this is the R45, which is capable of handling larger calibers like 5.56 and 308, just not quite as good barrel restrictions. It's also adaptable for direct threads for things like lever guns and pistols that you can put on different adapters. Now, there's also the Resilient Suppressor's Ramblin' Man, which I feel like is one of the best jack of all trades cans. But again, subscribe to the channel for something like that. But let's take some shots out of this 44 mag lever action running 44 special, so it is subsonic and a closed breech gun. This is really quiet. So quiet. Listen to the steel on this one. Those things are absolutely awesome, but let's wrap it up real quick. And again, make sure you're checking out those other videos. So I hope that helps you with kind of an overview of buying a suppressor for the first time. Brett, did I help you at all?
You actually really did.
Good. That is the point of this. And it was such an impromptu video. Brett texted me this morning. I said, man, instead of me explaining everything to you, let's make a video on it. Even though Brett already knows a ton about suppressors, don't be intimidated. Again, create an eForms account. Find a great local dealer and pick out your suppressor, whether it's a 22, a 9mm, or a pistol caliber can, a rifle can, or a jack of all trades can. You pay your tax stamp and get your fingerprints done and passport photos at the shop. Wait a couple of days, you'll get that email, pick it up and enjoy. Subscribe to the channel because we've got more suppressor content coming, and there's already a ton of suppressor videos on there. And the next video we're actually about to film right now are the best guns to suppress. So if you do get one, we're gonna tell you what to put it on in the next video. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Brett, for coming out. Have a good one.